Today's video is going to be the start of a series where I share with you my first ever playthrough of Saltwater Scourge. Now, this is a game mode that I was very excited about when they announced it because I love, one, games like this, so Slay the Spire, Monster Train, Rogue Lords, etc. But also, I love PvE content kind of in general. Back when I covered the Elder Scrolls Legends, that was one of my favorite things about that game was the story mode encounters, and so I'm really looking forward to this. I've purposefully avoided spoilers. I wanted to share my first experience with all of you, and so I know nothing about what is coming. I will likely make some mistakes along the way, but we're gonna do this together, hopefully have some fun. Because I know nothing, I know that we are presented here with 3 hero choices. I am leaning towards picking Twisted Fate for this run because I think Misfortune, you want to be aggressive. Tahm Kench is a bit slower, whereas Twisted Fate gives you versatility with his play effect, and since I know nothing else about what to expect, I think that is going to be the safe choice. So we're going to dive right in. Get the cool map showing up. Azir, okay. Gangplank, I assume those are bosses. Azir's probably like our mini boss. I don't know what the numbers are here, but I would wager maybe that's something to do with our level of our opponent, because I know that we have a level here. I remember you get experience as you go through. I guess this will tell me what is currently in my deck as well. We have a health, we have a gold value, and zoom out on this map here, right? Yeah, I would wager that this is probably like level. It's also kind of interesting that I can't see values on some of these, or that they would even let you go to dead ends, but I maybe wonder if these are for events of some type, because these are very clearly battles with our swords crossed. So these must be some sort of event, and we've also got like treasure here as well. So let's start our first battle. Let's take the shortest distance to trouble. We're going to be up against Crackshot Corsair, has no power. And so I guess we're going to go ahead and travel over here and fight it out. Loadout. Oh, we can change our board. Well, this is Saltwater Scourge, so I think we have to go with the docks. I think that's a bit of a requirement, but other than that, we'll just jump right in. I don't know how many encounters to do per video either, having not done this. I think I'll just kind of keep an eye on time and make sure that these aren't incredibly long. I suspect we want some early game here. I like having these two together. Twisted Fate might have been worth keeping, especially with this pilfered goods, but instead we just continue to top deck our top end. Now, the Cutthroat here, very welcome. This will hopefully give us a plunder opportunity. Interesting. They didn't even have mana there to start. We just start better than them. Not something I was expecting. But okay, we'll nab. I guess I should also pay attention. Only 16 cards in their deck, but we have less than ours. They are also only at that 10 health to start. We are taking some damage. Ow. How dare they? I think here we're going to go ahead and make more bodies. And we would like to get rid of this. We don't like taking the guaranteed damage there. Guess we'll block like this, since we don't have a good way to remove this Poro. Okay. Twisted Fate is an option. Zap is an option, but I really want to trigger this pilfered goods, I think. So let's go ahead and ship the crew. ship the crew. I'm making puns and I didn't even realize it. So we're, I guess, fine with this trade, but it is a bit of an issue because now I don't get the cost reduction. I was not expecting them to sacrifice their unit, but then again, it is the AI, so I should have known better. Well, we did all of that to nab stuff from their deck, so I suppose we should actually still nab stuff from their deck. A bit concerned that they're not playing anything, though. Being that this is the AI. We're going to take this opportunity just to stun this. We want to preserve our health. I don't know what to expect in this game mode, and that feels appropriate. Let's ship this back. Draw some more cards. We get a couple of parlays that I don't hate. Let's start with one of those. No. Excuse you. I mostly just don't like taking the free damage because I don't know when we get to heal. I don't know if we get to heal. Maybe we heal when we level up. Perhaps that's how it works. And we should have lethal now with this attack. Thanks to the hunting fleet. We likely had it before anyway because we had Zap plus Parlay, but this should go ahead and lock it up for us. We have a victory against Crackshot Corsair. Look at that. Pro. Undefeated. But now I'm actually curious to see what happens here. Yeah, traditional game stuff, vault stuff. I'm more interested in the game mode. All right, battle rewards. So we got 45 gold and 100 adventure XP. And we get to choose a card to add to our deck. I really want to add Gangplank. Even though Fizz is probably the better choice, I kind of want to add Gangplank just because Gangplank is the boss and it would be really satisfying to beat Gangplank with a Gangplank. And so I think we're going to do it. I think Fizz is just the better choice. But it's really hard to pass this up. Okay, we have leveled up. We've reached a level 2. And so we get to make some choices. And this does in fact mean that that value I thought was experience points was in fact experience points. Curious to see when gold matters. And I think here Kindred would have been a great choice, I think, with Tom Kench. Slow gameplay style, but I think here we want to go ahead and take Vi, if only because I really like Vi. It's one of my favorite champions. Health plus 2. Okay, so when you level up, you do kind of heal. Your max health goes up. All right. Interesting. I dig it. We're going to go, I guess, here first. I don't know. This makes me, I don't know if this is a chest or if this is where I buy things with my gold. On the off chance this is where I buy things with my gold, I think I want to go here first. Let's go do this level 1 fight. We're up against the Desert Legion. And then I'll hit one of these chest icons and we'll go from there. Because if that is where you buy things with gold and the first option doesn't have anything great, I would like to have a lot of gold for both potential buy options, but I don't actually know if that's even how it works. So it all could be moot. I think here we're going to keep the Twisted Fate, send the rest back. I've noticed that they are also still below us in terms of mana, so keeping something expensive like Twisted Fate makes sense. I also noticed that we went second the last time, but we're going first this time. And so now I'm even more confused. We don't have any powers. But I don't know if that does that randomly or if there was something that I missed before. Keeping the double merchants for post Twisted Fate makes sense. So we're gonna play some hunters. Wow, okay. There it is. We got hit with the old Arise. Got rid of our hunter. Makes us a wee bit sad, but and we can go ahead and use the gold card here. We're not likely gonna level up Twisted Fate. It was mostly just a dream I had. Let's go ahead and start with the open attack. Well, that wasn't very nice. I know we have the suit up, but we will wait. Let's go ahead and merchant. We got a Wrath, okay. And then we'll merchant. And we'll bank our spell mana and move on. We're deep now. That Twisted Fate with all of this mana should be really good for us here. We're only going to lose this at the moment, but I would still like to not take a ton of damage here. And since they have a full board, I think that creating a couple of blockers ourselves makes sense. This is fine because these are going to die anyway. And this is still going to protect us the most. I mean, we have this parlay. I think let's actually just send this sea monster back while we're at it. Because with them having no mana, we should be safe from losing our Twisted Fate. Now we could save our Cutthroat. Yeah, who am I kidding? We're going to save our Cutthroat. That's got two very relevant keywords. And I think that's worth the investment. Again, this is the AI and they're only at 7 health. We don't have to do anything too fancy here. I'd like to level up Twisted Fate, but I don't think we're getting there this time around. I think you just send the crew. Oh, hello. Okay, okay, I respect it. We'll play this vibe. Even though the other one was bigger, that one's gonna go away. And we do not need the plunder necessarily to level our Twisted Fate, but I do like taking this parlay poke anyway. And the reason that I like doing that is because
you can win them all.
the extra card draw will still be double discounted. Wow, and then we got an Arise, huh? It's kind of beautiful for us. Gangplank already leveled. They had 10 health. We've leveled a Gangplank 5 for 5 and they're not dead.
Soak it in.
We're gonna just go ahead and do this so that we can draw the card. Gonna make sure we're not gonna deck ourselves. You can also go with a red and a gold. Gold should stun this. And everything works out. We don't have to sacrifice anything. And that should be the end of them. Of course, I say that and they will have yet another thing that stops us. But because of the vault breaker here, we should be successful, and there we are. All right. I think the key here is to just win while mitigating the amount of damage that you take, which actually might make Tom Kench pretty good if you can protect him. Okay, battle rewards. We have to add one of these to our deck. I don't want to add any of these to our deck, gang. Mushroom Cloud helps with plunder to some effect. I don't think we want to worsen our deck list. This having elusive makes it somewhat relevant. But I actually think we're going to go with the cloud here, as weird as that sounds. We're going to take Mushroom Cloud, and maybe that'll help us with some of our plunder shenanigans. But the important piece is we've leveled up. But we get to choose a power now. Allies everywhere that cost 3 or less have lurk. Raiding parties actually... Whoa, wrong thing. This is what I want. Raiding parties actually not terrible with a list like ours. I was looking because I wanted to see how many things lie in wait hit. And it hits a decent amount, but probably not enough on its own. So in my mind, it's basically between Nature's Revenge, which is just outstanding, or potentially Raiding Party. In our plunder list, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. But I don't know how you can pass up Nature's Revenge. This is just really good. So we're gonna do that. We get some more health. That's always good. Let's check out what one of these chests do for us. All right, glowing chest. You can leave, or we can open the treasure. Select a spell to add 2 copies to your deck. On plunder, I cost 3 less. This could be really good. And then the Hex Tech gives us some okay removal-ish for this game mode, but really it'd be the health potion. But I think we want this chum the water. I think we take that treasure. And then I think we come back this way. Come in handy at the next shop, but this is not the shop. All right, well, I guess this would be the shop then. This is also probably a healing node. But let's... When you summon a non-sea monster ally, toss 2. This could be trouble. But let's go do Jaw Hunters, see if we can get to a shop. I want to see what the shop looks like. Maybe do the healing depending on how terrible this goes for us. And then at some point, I think I'm going to end the video. Maybe after that, just because again, I just don't want them to be too long. And this is my first time trying to gauge them. And so we're approaching like the 20-minute mark-ish. I think we'll throw the gangplank back, keep the rest. And so if it's a 25 half-hour video, I think that's fine. I don't want to go too much longer than that, though. We're going to start with the parlay because it'll give them the opportunity to play a 1-drop that we can pull. They have a big deck to deal with all of this tossing. But I also would like to take their stuff. Worth noting that this was a level 2 opponent. They're up to 14 health. So we will kind of keep track of that as we go through as well. That's not very nice. Let's go with a slot bot. We knew that they were going to take this pull. We could have went with the hunters, but this is going to take damage and we'll have the sapling for dealing with that anyway. And so I think getting this going might be potentially better for us. And so let's go ahead and attempt this. Get a nice 5 damage in. Blood and guts, golden glory. And now we have to decide, do we want to use this to ping here? Even though that means no chum the water trigger? I think the answer is yes. We could blue card. You know what? I take it back. Let's go ahead and take the blue card. Never lost a fair game. And I want to do it this way because we've given them kind of 2 potential bad outcomes. And then we can also still chum here. But this hunter will likely eat Twisted Fate. Could eat our slot bot depending on how the stats roll. But because we drew a card, we're also going to get some bonuses here.
The treasure was in me the whole time.
And so yeah, at a 5/5.
Let me show you
Should be fine. We'll go ahead and play our own Vi. They're getting pretty close to deep triggering. And so yeah, unfortunately, Twisted Fate is, you know, going to meet their fate. Nothing we can do about the narwhal here though. That's a little bit sad, but we likely have lethal unless they've got a Bilgewater specific trick that I am not aware of. We can go ahead and take this risk. But with Zap here to pull something for this, if they did have something that stopped us, I think we'd be fine, but all right. We took 2 damage from the narwhal. Kind of not happy about that. But we have what I assume is a healing station coming up. Battle rewards. Argan's Brace. Give my supported ally. Actually makes this card not terrible. Lure of the Depths. But I don't think we have any sea monsters. Like, we have the hunters. We don't really have anything to take advantage of that. Give It All could be cheeky, but at 8 it feels a bit slow, at least so far for the pacing of these games. I think we're gonna go with the Priestess because this Invoke actually gives us access to some things we just don't have. Lifesteal, for example, with Sisters. More removal options, and so I think we go ahead and we take that. Not enough to level up here. We're gonna go ahead and go to the shop now. We're gonna see what we can do. We have top shelf and bottom shelf. And this is interesting. So bottom shelf, we've got a couple of options and then 1 with an item. Top shelf, we have 2 with items. And then this one, which I assume is just like discounted. I wonder if these pips also represent what I can buy. Lost Riches is interesting. This is the kind of card that's like powerful early when our deck is small, but becomes a little bit less relevant later. When cast, draw 1 is the only reason this is kind of appealing to me. Becomes a cheap first draw. And then you also get the created card. And we have 225. We're going to start by purchasing one of these. This has been pretty good for us, and I want to see how these pips work. Okay, so we were able to buy one, but the cost went up, which is interesting. Does the same thing happen down here? Like, what happens if I buy one of this? Interesting. Cost now goes down because it loses the item, but because we've already bought it the one time, the item is still technically on it. And so the value is still there. That's actually kind of interesting as well. I think we're gonna max out on that because again, it's a burst speed draw and we're playing Twisted Fate. And you know what? We're just gonna nab everything our enemy does. We're gonna spend all of our gold. This might be a huge mistake, but whatever. It's my first time through and I have money burning a hole in my pocket. I think we're gonna save this healing for after this level 3 fight, but I think that's where we're gonna start the next video. So if you made it this far, this is the start of Saltwater Scourge, and I'm going to share everything from this playthrough the entire way through until, you know, either I get dominated or we make it to Gangplank and beat him. But this is the first one. Like I said, I didn't know how long these videos were going to be, how far I wanted to go, but we're getting kind of long for this video, so we're going to end it here. I don't want to end it here, but we're going to end it here, and thanks for watching. Until next time, may you walk on warm sands.